So we've got the two guns opened up now, and you can see sort of the before and after shot here, and I'm going to show you the difference and tell you how to go about making the mod. One of the first things you may notice is we've actually left the little blue trigger button on the gun. We're not going to do anything with that. I don't want you to take it out or anything, just leave it there. But we don't want to leave this little plastic tab here, because that will still push the button on our new gun if we leave it in there. So just go ahead and just cut that out. Don't worry about it. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run two wires from where this button terminal is, and what you'll want to do is just pull this up out. It's not bolted in or anything. Just pull it out, and then look at it as if you're sort of looking down the gun, and you'll see four little contact points on the back. You're going to want to solder a wire to the two right ones, a wire each to each one, and then you take those two wires and you'll wrap them around here, and then the other end one will go to this top left terminal here, or excuse me, I have this backwards. This top left terminal here, and the other will go to the one on the side. And once you have those in place, then you'll be able to put this arcade switch in here, and whenever the trigger activates the switch, then the gun will fire normally. So now the next big problem is, how do you get the switch in here? You can't just sort of lay it in there because it'll be below the trigger. I do kind of like that you can sort of wedge it a little bit, because there's just enough room in this gun to put one of these, but there's not enough pressure on either side to actually hold the switch up. But if you get it wedged in there and at the appropriate height, you can see that the little arm on here actually rests up against the trigger, so your trigger can kind of slide back and forth on it, and that gives you a really nice trigger action there. Now, I've seen lots of different ways of putting these in, and really any way that works for you I think is fine. I've seen guys use duct tape, I've seen guys use hot glue. Really, it's fine. Any of those are fine. My only concern, for instance, if you use hot glue, is if you do mess something up and the placement's not right, it becomes a little more difficult to undo, because if you've got that much hot glue in there, sure, you can get it out, but it may be kind of a pain. What I like to use, actually, I ended up using, these are just 1-inch number 4 screws. You don't have to use this exact size, but this was the perfect size that would fit through these little holes in the micro switch, and that's what they're for, is to mount this onto something. And then I use just sort of various little nuts and washers and whatnot to get each side to the right level. So you can see on the finished gun here, obviously, since this part of the gun is higher up than the other, I actually needed some washers on the top side because I didn't want the screw to come all the way through the gun. So in any case, you can use different washers, nuts, etc. to get it at the right height. I do recommend you drill a very small, shallow hole into the other end of the gun to guide the screw. But once it's in there, I actually took, I took a little bit of this super glue, and it's just impossible to open, is what it is. All right. So I took some of the super glue. You can just get it at Radio Shack. It's really cheap, the kind with a little brush here. And I like to use this for a lot of projects, because then you can, once you get things done, you can sort of finalize them. So I just brush a little bit of super glue over both sides to make sure it stays in there. And I mean, honestly, I can hold the gun up by this and shake it around, and it's not going anywhere. So it's a nice stable platform for your trigger. And that's pretty much it. All you have to do is be sure to put your little lens back in and put the gun back together, and we're ready to kill some zombies. All right, let's try a little House of the Dead.
outside. Save them. Help! Help them.
Unfortunately, this mod doesn't help my aim any.
Help you?
God, it sucks.